Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the ultimate clash for the final time that we are going to face Omega Shenron. So basically guys, this is the final ultimate clash against Omega Shenron. Obviously he's immune to stunning, sealing, attack lowering, defense lowering. He will lock you into place, and also he massively lowers your defense on his super attack. So he's a real kind of pain in the ass. As always, I suggest running mono type teams, as I believe these are the absolute best teams to run for most of these stages, and still are. It's the best way because you just have more options, and you can usually run at least 2 standard teams of each type. So for me, I generally like mono teams still. I know some people do not, but for me, I 100% like mono teams the most still. Okay, so beyond that, obviously, in terms of Omega Shenron, I'm going to be using a super int team to start off with. The big risks of my super int team essentially are going to be the Gildo and are going to be the GT trio. So if the GT trio are locked into place essentially and cannot exist in the second slot, then they are a big risk factor. And yeah, we're just going to see how everything goes from there. For the most part, honestly, obviously ultimate clashes get easier over time as new units come out, more EZAs come out, players boxes expand. We always end up eventually needing an updated ultimate clash. I think this one is still at a good level of difficulty, although Omega Shenron is still somewhat quite irritating just in terms of his design. The locking characters in place is really a big issue. It's always going to be something irritating, especially when you have someone that massively lowers defense, considering how important it is. A way to work around this is obviously to bring some kind of regen. That will obviously help you, or alternatively you can just bring damage reduction. That's also going to be something that's going to assist you quite a bit. So it just depends, honestly, as always. It just entirely depends on what your kind of team situation is, what units you have, etc. Me personally, obviously I've got quite a diverse box. I've got a lot of options, so for me, I'm very comfortable running 2 teams. If you're not comfortable with running 2 teams, then you can always keep a backup full dodge team. Generally also does a really good job. Units like int MUI Goku, int UI Goku, AGL MUI Goku. The only issue is if AGL MUI Goku gets hit by Omega Shenron before he can get some evasion up, but you should be okay. Like, I can't see it being too much of an issue. So yeah, that's realistically it for things that you need to be concerned about. Obviously I don't get so lucky here with my super class run, and I tend to run into some issues, but that's okay. It does happen. It's not really something that you can like control all the time, so don't panic when these things happen. Just try again and set up a second team. You can even set up 3 teams, fortunately for this ultimate clash, because as always, the very first boss you only beat with 1 unit, so you really can just beat the whole thing with literally like 2 units basically. Well, the first fight. So what that means is essentially you can make a 3rd in team if you are already struggling with just 2. So you got lots of options. That is one of the bright sides. So even though Omega Shenron is quite tough, obviously some of the other stages you can kind of make a bit of a gap, and you should be able to take enough int units to really get things done. But yeah, so for me, honestly speaking, quite happy with how everything went. The super int team did some decent damage, even though obviously it kind of bombed out, so that's not really the biggest issue in the world. And then of course, another thing is just that the extreme team does seem to be running a little bit better. I used int Janemba just because of his ability to dodge. I found that to be extremely helpful, and you can see it already comes in clutch with us already missing a super attack, or evading a super attack I should say. So yeah, it's already kind of doing really good work, or Janem is doing really good work. Boo also does good work, but if he gets caught character switching and gets stuck in the first slot, that's going to be a little bit of a problem for us. Not a huge issue, but it will be a bit of a problem. But yeah, the team runs perfectly fine. Obviously, Bojack over here took a little bit of damage as well, but he's still a really strong unit, even only at 55%. So the team itself runs very smoothly. Incel, great work. Lots of powerful extreme int LRs that you can use. Even the free-to-play Metal Cooler unit will be okay in here. It's not going to be spectacular, but it'll be okay, and they'll do some really good work. So yeah, very solid team run. Honestly, was incredibly happy with how everything panned out. And yeah, I was super duper happy with how everything went. A little bit unlucky on the int super team, but we made it up with a very good run on the extreme team, where they did very, very well. So yeah, I was super duper chuffed, very happy overall, like with how everything ran. I think for the most part, the only thing I could suggest is maybe just be a tiny bit careful, just more specifically, not so much with how you face a Mega Shenron, because obviously he can character lock, but just with bringing on super ability units like the GT trio. It's nothing against them, because when they get their damage off, they do huge damage, but the risk, you need to weigh up the risk of the damage that they do comparatively to their ability to perform defensively when they don't get that super. Like if they're going to kill you in 2 hits or make you lose half your health, then they're probably not worth it, even if they do have a decent amount of damage. So just keep that in mind, and you'll be more than fine for Omega Shenron. And you can see here, he's not got a lot of health left. We're fortunate in that obviously we have the Goku and Vegeta, and even if we failed, I'd probably be able to finish it with my third int team, my backup int team. So yeah, everything went really well. I was super duper happy with this, and yeah, the run was great. Super duper chuffed. Everything went well. We'll go through all the other bosses once we finish Omega Shenron, and then we'll wrap up the video. So we finished Omega Shenron. Awesome stuff. That was the first try as well. So very good. I did have a bit of a close scare, which I'll talk about just now, but otherwise everything went really, really well. So that was a really good run. Very clean, and yeah, a good amount of reward as well. Like really, really good stone rewards. Of course, it's 31 stones. But yeah, so let's start with the bosses at the top. Obviously, Invisible Man, he can evade and he is immune to stunning. You can just use one high stat unit for this stage, because you just need to basically hit him with any kind of damage. Then we have Akka. Also very simple, just immune to stunning. You can seal him if you want, but honestly he's very weak, and you should be fine with whatever team you run. Then we have the Thouser. So Thouser is immune to stunning, immune to sealing. He can fire 2 super attacks, and he's immune to attack lowering. I would suggest bringing some kind of healing if you are very concerned here, but otherwise you should be more than fine, as he's not incredibly powerful. Then we have the Supreme Kai, who's immune to stunning, sealing. He also randomly seals your allies, and he can evade attacks. Bring some additional attacks here, it'll help you hit him, but his evasion doesn't seem to be too high. Then a boss that everyone does seem to struggle with is the Trunks. So he's immune to stunning and immune to sealing. He's also immune to attack lowering and defense lowering, and he will lock your characters in place. He also massively raises attack on his super attack, which will make him do big damage to your units. I suggest that you bring either a healer, like I have with the Majin Buu units in Android 21, or B, just damage reduction units, because those will help you out the most. Evasion also helps out. When you can avoid his super attack, he won't raise his attack. Then we have the Vegeta. So Vegeta's immune to stunning, but he can be sealed. He's immune to attack lowering, defense lowering, and he fires multiple super attacks. You need to bring a sealer here. Fortunately, Super Physical has some great sealers that are free to play in Master Roshi and Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. And then we have Cell, who's kind of the inverse. He's basically a unit you have to stun. Please be very careful if you're using the LR Hercule. He only stuns on his 12 key. I had to figure that out the hard way by basically flopping my first 3 super attacks and wondering what the hell was going on. You need to stun him, so use the 12 key on Hercule and you'll be more than fine. Then we have Feet Goku, as everyone likes to call him. So he's immune to stunning, he can evade attacks, and he also launches 2 super attacks. Brings some seals, but I just went with super strength and it was more than strong enough. Krillin basically just acted as a huge damage absorber, and alongside GT Pan, she just healed up all the damage anyway, and I just basically just out healed the boss. I just didn't really care in that stage. Then we have Super AGL against Piccolo. So Piccolo is immune to stunning, but he can be sealed, so make sure that you bring a sealer. Again, Super AGL is very strong, so it wasn't too much of an issue, but it can be. So try and bring a sealer. A great one is Goku and Arale. They'll be able to help you guys out quite a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Ultimate Clash, guys. That's all the bosses. If you need any more help, you can contact me down below, and I will gladly give it to you. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did and you would like to, leaving a like would be greatly appreciated. And I will gladly see you guys in the next one. So until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.